Hi there.
Hi.
Why don't you tell me your name and a little bit about your project?
My name is Anthoula Harrison, and I developed a thesis project for the Academy of Art University called Disegno. It is it's the rise of Greek mythology in the Renaissance. And what Disegno is it illuminates the symbolic relationship between artists, patrons, and Greek mythology during the Italian Renaissance. So it could be used as an educational tool and for people that would like some more self-learning on that subject. How it starts out is it's based off of a sketchbook idea that was inspired by Leonardo da Vinci's sketchbook drawings. I found that his sketches were very intriguing, and so I took his sketches and some of his mirror writing style and developed an interface for my project. And it again symbolizes the relationships between the artists, which I have on the left side of the page, and then the patrons, and also Greek mythology.
Should I follow you?
So once you can go through the site and click on each of these buttons, and it'll bring up a room. And for instance, this is the patrons room, and it's really styled like a library setting, because the patrons at the time are were known for wealth and knowledge. So library setting was very appropriate. So then the user can go in and learn about these famous patrons of that time, because that really influenced the artwork of the Italian Renaissance. And also to show you an artist's studio. Each of these brings up a studio of what the artist might have, the studio might have looked like during that time. For instance, this is Botticelli's studio, and the user can go in and read a little bit about Botticelli. And then, for instance, The Birth of Venus was a great mythological painting of that time. And then the user can go in and learn about the different art styles of that painting with these notes that pop up, and then an audio recording of that note, which I think the audio is turned off right now. So then this is Bronzino's studio, just to give you an idea of how these studios kind of look. And then the classical antiquities room is more like a museum, as you would probably see. And then you can just go in and learn about the Greek gods that really dominated the Renaissance visual imagery at that time.
So you've kind of got the three-pronged approach. It's about the gods that they were, sculpting and
Yes.
painting, and then you have the designers / artists, and then you also have the patrons. And I love that you've included kind of the patrons that were funding all this art. It's a very important part of it.
Yes, exactly, because that really shaped what the artwork back then was during the Italian Renaissance, which we all really come to know and love even today, centuries later. So
do you think, did this make you think a lot about how patrons of the arts have changed, and how in contemporary society where the role of the patron has gone?
Definitely. I think the art market back then was definitely different than it is now. Now we know that you can go in and create artwork based on the style of the artist today, and then you could put it up for sale. But back then it was a different market, and it didn't work that way. The artists really painted exactly what the patrons wanted. So they weren't really given a whole lot of creative freedom at that time,
right?
Because it was more of a political strategy. It was used more as a political strategy.
I would love to see a continuation of this, where you study present day patron, what people choose to paint, and artist relationship too.
Yeah, that would be a great comparison to see how things have changed during the centuries, and where it might go after that.
What was your favorite part that you learned about through this process?
My favorite part was,
or maybe something fascinating that you uncovered.
Basically, I think learning the different materials that they used, even down to the different paints and the different stones that they used. They used a lot of exotic materials and minerals to create the colors that were used. And I found that very interesting because back then it was very expensive to make those paints, and it was really funded by the patrons because it was really a statement of their family name. So they really wanted the paintings to be elegant and extravagant and decadent. So I think that was very interesting to learn.
That's
throughout
awesome.
my research.
It's really beautiful. And we can find this online right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the URL is anthoulacreates.com/Disegno.
Awesome. We will look at it. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you very much.